What's good, people? It's your boy Flamin and your girl DB,
and we're here on the Two Pence podcast, brought to you by We Are Verified.
Enjoy the show, guys, and make sure you check us out on www.weareverified.co.uk. Let's go. Today is, what's the date today? Sunday the 7th of June. So it's a few days since Blackout Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Rest in peace, George Floyd.
Rest in peace.
And condolences to him and his family.
Mm-hmm.
We're here obviously to give our 2 pence like we do on the current situation. And we all know what's happening. So I want to know first of all, what are your thoughts on Blackout Tuesday?
For me, I understood the reason behind it, but I didn't feel it was useful unless you do something as well after that. I feel like if you just post a black screen, it shows that you're acknowledging it, but I feel like we need to do more than just follow trends. We need to actually do stuff not for trend and do it because we want to do it and keep on doing it throughout our life. It needs to become a lifestyle, and not just because someone's told us to do it, because we don't even know who made the trend. It could have been like, I don't want to say who, but it could be just certain people who just
could be someone on the bad side, pretending,
who's just testing us to see how much we still follow trends and do stuff. And obviously we have to break that, and obviously it can be seen as a good light, but you have to make sure you're doing some sort of change. The whole meaning behind, what's the meaning behind it?
So from what I read, it was some music people, like record labels, people high up there who decided to stop everything music related. So people weren't able to stream. I think you even tried to go on SoundCloud that day and everything was all scribbled off in an effort to get everyone to focus on the current matter.
So I think that was a good statement, like where they stopped certain music stuff just to show that they're listening. The black squares was good, but yeah, I don't know, it can be good and bad, innit? I feel like as long as the next day you start posting other stuff, you don't just leave it as the black square. You have to still do stuff after that. Yeah,
because definitely. Well, first of all, when I saw it, my first reaction was, wow, because I didn't know how I found out about. Someone sent me a message first of all, like a week before, saying like the Blackout Tuesday thing. I didn't really know what it meant. I didn't look too much into the meme. I ignored it. And then on the day, I think I tried to go on Instagram and I see bare black squares. I was thinking, what's going on? And then when I read up and saw what's happening, I actually felt like, whoa, like so many people. And this is coming from someone, I came off of social media for like 3 years because I just had enough. So coming back, I'm experiencing all of these new things, and to see solidarity like that, to me that it made me feel good. I had a positive reaction to it instantly. But then, like you said, I would see certain brands or celebrities. I understand loads of people have their reasons why they do and don't do things, but the fact that there's so much people making so much noise about this, and the little that you could do, post something, say a little something at the bottom of it and done. I just felt like people literally did that and just left it at that, and then the next day we're right back on. There was no other. From the outside looking in, if I'm supporting your brand, and when everything else comes up, you're quick to talk about that and support that, and you promote other things. It just didn't feel like some people cared that much.
A lot of people are doing it for themselves and not for actual change to help people.
Well, I think a lot of people are just doing it so that no one comes and points the finger and said, yeah, but you didn't. They'll just say, yeah, but I did. And that's that, fair enough. But like you said, there's more than just posting the black square. You've got to show your ongoing support. I think it was amazing because things shut down to the point where it had everyone's attention now. I find it really hard to believe that there are some people out there who this was the first time they're like, what? This is happening. Like, this is new to them. So for that reason, it served its purpose. It got people's attention, and I think that was good.
But I feel like as well, a lot of celebrities feel like, why should I support this thing? But I think they also need to realise that half the time the people that you're supporting are your supporters. So they're gonna like your brand even more if you show them that you truly support them properly, like not just because everyone's doing it, but that you truly have love for the people that support you.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my second question about what do you think about influential people.
Yeah, let's go into
not saying anything. We touched on it a little bit, but
so them not saying anything. I think the ones that don't, it's because they've probably got sponsorships or something where if they speak on certain matters, it might affect their money, and it's down to them if they're willing to make that sacrifice. Obviously, they've got families to feed, so sometimes it might stop them from saying stuff because obviously they can say certain things, but if certain money ain't coming through, they can't pay their bills and they can't help support their family. So you have to keep that in mind.
But so as much as you have to keep it in mind, at what point when it comes to your work and your business and whatever, at what point do you say, do you know what? No, I'm actually gonna like speak on this thing. It's not just about money.
Yeah. That's why John Boyega's he's taking that risk.
What people are saying is, I'm not willing to lose money. And I understand that, but still, come on, there's people dying.
Yeah, that makes sense, because I'm also feeling it. In the death sense, you got to think, especially like if they're black figures. Do you know what? It don't even matter about colour. Any figure, you got to think, once someone's dying, that could be your child, innit? So sometimes your money, like a child's life or someone's life, is worth a lot more than money. And if you're going to save someone's life, you can lose out on a little bit of money.
That's what it is. That's what's shocking to see, that people are not willing to make that sacrifice to lose a little bit of money. And who says you're going to lose money anyway? No, there's no guarantee that you're going to lose money or followers or whatever. And if you do you really want money coming from people who are racist? And do you want supporters who don't support you because you are trying to support people being killed? Yeah,
and you should put that. Imagine, especially like from black people, like black famous people. If you're not doing stuff that supports your own, it's mad who your supporters are. They like you for entertainment, but when it comes down to you trying to save your own race,
they have a problem with it. Yeah, that's not cool. So yeah, definitely not happy with people who are not willing to speak up, especially when black people are contributing to them being in the position that they're in. But of course, each to their own. It just allows the rest of us to see in it. Now we know who we can support and carry on helping them make money.
That's a valid point. That's what I feel like. A lot of this stuff now you kind of see, especially being a black man and you're a black woman, you see people's standpoint in it, and you know that when the world, if it goes back to normal, you know where you stand with these people now, because they might only be with you when you're succeeding, but when you're going through troubled times, they're not there to support you.
Yeah. So, I want to know what you think about the sharing of negative information when it comes to things that happen to black people. So, and I hope you understand what I mean when I say the word negative. So I'm talking about history, like the bad things that happened, police brutality videos, memes, articles, news reports, anything that's highlighting the bad things that happened and are happening to the black community. How do you feel about sharing that through social media, messaging?
I feel it's good and bad. Like, as a black person, we already know this stuff's going on, so I get drained by seeing it, but I feel like it still needs to be seen, because there's certain people who don't realise these things are happening, and we say it, but they don't believe it. So for other people who haven't witnessed or experienced these kind of things, they need to see it for themselves. So they're gonna work. That's why I feel like the protesters, they've seen this now, so they're actually feeling the pain, because they're thinking, it doesn't matter about colour. This could have been my child or my family member, and they've treated them like that, and they're getting away with it. So
I think, me personally, part of the reason why I left social media years ago is because there's certain things that are really triggering and are very traumatic. And I remember a time where people, when I would go on Facebook, I just kept seeing over and over again police brutality videos, and it becomes too much, to the point where now I don't watch it. If I see it, I look away.
It's like overkill, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just too much. It's not. I don't ever want to become someone who's desensitized to it, where it's like, oh, another black man.
Yeah, that's another thing that's worrying.
I don't want that to happen either. And what I've found interesting is that, like you said...
Sorry to cut you off. Do you feel like that's being made to do. They're trying to desensitize
Definitely.
people.
I think they're trying to make it look like it's normal.
To kill a black person.
They're trying to make it look like it's normal, and it's upsetting that it's really only being shared amongst black people in the black community. I think if you really want to share it to someone, because I've had conversations with non-black people who find stuff like this hard to believe, I'm pretty sure if they saw that, they'd be shocked. And not just one single video. Show them the 25,000 that you're sending to your cousin, aunt, mum, friend. If there's anything to share, share it that way.
Yeah, because you're just making that side of the thing more angry. So it makes you more angry, then you're going to try and do more stuff to the police for them to feel like they have to do this to you because you're angry. Right.
I don't think it should be seen. It's like murder porn. So I don't think anyone should be seeing anyone get murdered. But for the sake of people being enlightened, because there's people just don't know, and I don't understand why.
Do you know what's mad? That some people are enlightened, and you get some people doing things like challenges. Have you seen the people who done?
Yeah, the knee thing.
Yeah, they're doing the challenge.
That
is proper mad.
So people respond to it
in different ways, and it shows. That's like another point again. It shows where you stand with certain people.
Yeah. In terms of news articles and memes and stuff like that, I think any information is good to spread, as long as it's helping people to gain knowledge. But like I said, within the black community, we've overdone the sharing of, like, you constantly hear people say black people were in slavery for 400 years. First of all, it wasn't 400 years, it was more than that. But the fact that people keep repeating that is because we've heard that over and over and over again. When are we going to start sending each other uplifting things? I know it's to highlight something, but still, it's just too much.
I feel like the best way to uplift people is to create more business opportunities, ways of being able to buy your own home, things of just being able to, because I feel like once we do all this stuff, like financially, we're going to be more happy anyway. Like you can't uplift someone just by words. It's nice for that moment in time, but you need something that's going to be sustainable, and that's when you need to invest in them being able to get more jobs, business. And sharing like other people's businesses and stuff. That should be a trend. Sharing that, and it's becoming a trend now, which is good. Like for the first time, I saw a black-owned hair shop, and I was thinking, raw, because where I've got dreads now, I'm looking for certain products for my hair. I go into the shop, and a lot of the people who own the shops, they don't know how to explain what certain products do, and I feel like that's mad. So how are we meant to look after our hair if we don't know how to? So it's only now that I've been with you that you've taught me how to look after my hair.
And you see the importance of, like you said, having people who know about the product. I think in terms of education, things should be spread. Definitely, I'm definitely not saying that education should stop. Young people should always be taught, both black, white, Asian, Chinese. Everyone should be taught the history of the planet. But when it comes to black people, it's always a constant look. There's another video of you lot getting killed. Look what they used to hang. It's just okay. And I'm talking specifically to black people. The brutal, like horrific images, I find them horrible. Like they're traumatizing.
Sorry to cut you off, but something just sprung to my head, and it's mad that within history in schools, all we learn about is the slavery stuff. We never learn about people like Marcus Garvey or certain people who's uplifted, because that's going to bring more change in our youth if they see these kind of people, because they're going to try and inspire to be them, not always feel like, they make you live in fear because you feel like all we're done is we're only attacked, so you're already like wary of certain people, because that's what we're taught, is that we're just because of our colour we're attacked.
But do you know why they wouldn't teach you about black leaders in the past? Because then they'd have to tell the full story. Why were they those people there? Because they were trying to fight the oppressors. So I think that's why they won't tell young people. You can't tell half the story.
But why can't they tell them that, like I said before,
that's the point. They don't want us to know the truth. They don't want us to know that a racist white system was created, and that is why you are in the position that you are in today. And people like you have come up over and over as resistance to this system, and this is what we've done to them each time. We've killed them every time. Basically, that's what's happened. So, all right, this is a good one. We both work with young people. What advice do you have for young people who are seeing and learning that they live in a world where racism exists, and they see it online and could potentially happen to them or their friends and family? What advice would you give?
What, racism or violence?
Both. Like imagine I've got an 11-year-old son. He comes to me and he says, "Why did this happen? Why did that happen?" So I'm experiencing for the first time having to properly explain to a young person, "Boy, this is the world that you live in, and this is why this, that, and the other is happening."
I don't think a lot of the students, because I'm black, I think they're scared to come to me with these questions. But I can say that, what was the question again? Because there's something I had.
What advice would you give to young people learning about this world that we live in?
So about this world, in regards, because with what I do a lot of mentoring through music, and what I've seen is through the music, they're feeling like now that it's comfortable to say the N-word. And they're from different races, and they're saying, but sir, he says it in the tune, like I'm just singing along with the tune, I don't actually mean it, I'm just saying this, that. And I'm like, they don't know the history behind it and why it was said and why it's offensive. They just see it as a word that is cool to say. And it's just sad that that's the world that we live in now, that they feel like it's okay to say that. But we also need to, I don't know, I feel like we need to stop saying the word, but I could be hypocrite because I have music with people who say the word, but it's about just just teaching them. I feel like the more music I make with people, they're gonna grow not to use this word, but I can't force it on them not to say it. They need to learn it for themselves. So I always tell people within sessions to be mindful of it. But until I feel like they grow as artists and they can make their own money and they're more happy as people, they're just gonna use the negative connotations that have been fed to them for many years.
I hear that. I do think that you can teach people a difference. I think the message that needs to be sent to young people is look at the past. So someone first of all needs to show them that there is a history of this. Look at the present. The people that are fighting it now were your age then, and you are going to be our age in 20 years time. So understand that you can make a difference however you choose to do that. Now's your chance to get into, you can do whatever you want, whether it's football, drama, cooking, whatever. Just know that, well, this is a personal opinion. I don't think everyone believes this, but you're here to contribute positively to this planet. How are you going to do that? So that's what I'd say to young people. And then if every young person was told that, that advice can stay with you for a long time, because every decision that you make in your life, you're always going to think, I was told, how can I contribute positively?
That's a good.
You're always going to come back to that. And I don't think there's enough young people being told that.
That's true.
And then not being told specifically how they should consider contributing positively to the black community and against injustices. If we spoke,
do you think it should be black or like the whole BAME, like anyone?
Both. So specifically about black, because that's what this whole craziness is about now. It's not enough to just say I'm not racist. You have to be anti-racist. So our kids need to be taught. It's fine that you're not racist, but you need to make some action against what's happening, because an anti-racist could walk past another race, a racist person beating up someone, and they're just going to walk past because I'm not racist. But you need to be actively anti-racist in order to stop that. You can't just let it happen around you and in your community. So maybe if you see your friends bullying someone because of the way that they look, or because they have an accent, say something. Don't be the person
Speak up,
and if we teach people from young, we'll all grow up, because a lot of us are learning these things in our 20s, and I think that's way too late to be gaining respect for each other. Hi guys, if you haven't already, make sure you visit www.weareverified.co.uk for all your media and content creating needs. We Are Verified is a platform offering music and recording services by industry professionals to meet your needs. So make sure you check out the website at the end of the show. Once again, that's www.weareverified.co.uk. Let's continue the show.
And I feel like as young people, it becomes a trend to like put certain people down who look a certain way, so then you become acceptive of that. And I feel like that's something you need to teach the kids not to, like, if you're saying something and you're putting them down, it's just something that shouldn't be said. I got it in blanks, I couldn't explain the exact thing, but
okay, so rioting. What are your thoughts on rioting as a response to racism? And I know people are probably thinking, there's peaceful protesters. I'm not talking about them. We love the peaceful protesters. In fact, I love both types of protesters. I'm talking specifically about those who are on it like a car bonnet. They have left their house because they're ready for war. What do you think about those types of people who are going out there not to cause trouble, but to retaliate? To police, towards the system, going out.
I understand their pain, but the best way to retaliate is to put other things in place so it don't happen. So I feel like a lot of black people need to become police officers so they can police their own people. I know that people don't want to be snitches and stuff, but me myself, if I was ever arrested, I'd rather be arrested by a black person who's going to show me respect. I'm going to get arrested if I've done a crime, regardless. But I'd rather get arrested by him who's going to show me respect and
go by the law,
not go above and beyond the law and start doing mad stuff, doing the handcuffs bare tight, like what happened to George Floyd and many others. Like, I don't want my life to be at risk, basically. I feel like I would want to be arrested for my crime that I've done, but not killed for it. Okay. Like, if you're going to give me the death sentence, you have to do it by law, not on your own accord. Exactly. Otherwise you become a murderer as well.
I think that protesters, the rioters or people who go out there looking to cause a scene, I understand the anger, I understand the rage, and I understand the passion. My only reason for not wanting people to go out and riot specifically is because I don't want them to get hurt. I don't care about the police, and I don't care about there's people's businesses and stuff.
Police because you got to remember, not all police are.
I understand that, and I'm not trying to like blanket them, because there are innocent people, but I'm one of these people in it, and there are people who think like me as well, that if you hit someone, they're gonna hit you back. It just seemed like, oh my god, because we're seeing it in a big, it's been displayed in a massive way. That's basically what's happened. You slapped me, now I'm coming to slap you back.
But you can't. But that's your slap. You have to slap back the guy who done it.
Specific people, which is why the law should be put in place. But the law isn't. The law isn't being put in place. So I'm not, me personally, with my one little weak punch that I have, I couldn't go out and fight nobody, and riot for nothing. But I will never tell someone who is expressing their anger in that way that they shouldn't do it. Maybe if we had an army and these people were trained and could fight back properly.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because that's the same thing that they do. If a terrorist bombs America, they hit them, so you've got your army to go back.
Exactly.
So really, that should be illegal. And if that is legal, then they should have understanding that you've hurt some people and you often do it, and just because you put law in the way, it's like you're allowed to hit them but they're not allowed to hit you back.
So I'm not condoning people going out there to rush the police or whatever. I would never send my child out to do that or anything, but when I see it, I understand it. I'm not looking at it and thinking, oh, these people. The only thing I do have a massive problem with, because I've seen a lot of footage of white protesters graffitiing up places, mashing up places, and videos of black people specifically telling them don't do that, because when this is all done and they're looking for people who've done this, they're going to go on the news and say, look what black people did. They're not going to say, look what a white person did. And so if you are trying to support black people, don't go and do things that you know that is going to come back on their heads and not yours. So that's I don't like, because a lot of the black protesters that are going out there, fair enough, there are people kicking down doors and robbing stuff and stealing or whatever, but there are a lot of people actually trying to do it peacefully, and then things kick off. If things kick off, then they kick off. I would say go home, but for the ones who don't want to go home and they're there because this is how they feel, I'm with them in spirit.
But if they don't go home, what do you feel like what are they proving then when they're smashing up stuff?
I don't think they're trying to prove anything. There's when you feel something so strongly, like for example, you might have a business that you can use to get back at them. I'm going to hire.
But that's what I'm saying. It's not, you shouldn't use violence to get.
I don't think violence is the answer.
Because they've already showed violence to you. So I understand you got to defend yourself, but I feel like once it's done, because they're the law, fighting them isn't really going to help, because they're police. We need to do more stuff, like create businesses and do more stuff where like, because I thought, see when
so all those writers, you need to go home and write business plans.
Write business plans and like team up with people to create businesses that help us in the long run, so we're not.
But also look at the noise that writers have made, and that's what's causing people to I need to pay attention now. So it does cause some change.
I hear that. I just wouldn't want to solely say that I would commend doing it, but I understand it, like you said before. I understand it. It's
a tricky one, but we've got people coming at us with guns, killing us on the street, and we're responding by praying and putting hands up and signs up, which is a good way of showing solidarity. But I mean, in response to the police, we need a fucking army. If they're going to come to us with tanks, how are we kneeling down and praying? That's mad.
In England, you're not getting police doing that mad stuff. So in England, it can work. I don't know about America. We're not in America. America's a bit mad. I'm a bit shook to go to America and be around them kind of police. So I feel like we're on England. I don't feel like violent protests should be done in England as such. In America, it's blatant that they do this stuff. In England, they do it, but it's not as drastic.
I just think it's because we're smaller. America's massive, innit?
Yeah.
There's a lot more land, a lot more people. So anything that happens in the UK is going to be on a smaller scale.
Like, I feel like police have done stuff to people in the UK, but it's not as blatant. Like in that George Floyd thing, he had his knee on his neck and he was there staring at the camera and people were just there watching. That's what was mad.
It's crazy. So for those wanting to contribute and help in times like this, but they don't protest, how can they help?
I think similar to what you're saying. So it's like, if you're a music artist, maybe creating a song where it creates awareness, and then maybe the money from that, you can donate that to create change in some way, shape or form, going into schools and teaching kids, like police officers going in and teaching kids in schools what police can and can't do so they know their rights. And just giving more understanding of the world. What about you?
I think first and foremost, because you know I'm all about living life. I think people should just live authentically. That's the first thing you could do, because everyone has something that they can offer here. And if people's lives are being taken away, don't take yours for granted. If there's something that you know you can do just for yourself to be a better person on this planet, start doing that. Because all of that is going to trickle down to amazing stuff. And then if you've got just go hard at your work. If there's anything that you're doing, go hard at it. If you know that you've got a good mind and a good heart, anything that you do is going to contribute to this cause in a good way. So it's not even about being specific, I'm going to donate to this company, but just be you first of all. Then if you're someone who does have money like that and you want to look for someone to support, there's loads of organisations, loads of people. I don't think people should just pick eeny, meeny, miny, mo and find a random brand and say I'm going to give money to them. Give consciously, think about what you're doing.
Definitely give to a brand that's going to bring change. Like they've actively been doing stuff already, but then finances will help them uplift whoever they're doing anymore. You know what I'm saying?
There's things you can do. If you know someone's protesting and they need somewhere to stay, especially in America, like you hear about the man who let 80 people stay in his house.
How big's his house?
Boy, it wasn't no mansion. It was just on the street, like a normal yard. And they put the curfew up, and the police trapped the people so they couldn't get out of the area. So you're basically saying, tell you to go home. You're not gone yet. Now we're going to kill you.
Wow.
So
they probably had a curfew like that in America. Bro, what? And their curfew was enforced by getting hurt by. The curfew
was enforced by if you wasn't. From what I've seen on the footage and from stuff that I've read and heard, there's this like army technique that they use where they block off this road, they block off this road, they block off that road, they block off that road. So if you're still there, whilst they've told you not to be here, it's peak for you. And this guy said that he heard people knocking on his door, he saved them. So I think that's a way you can contribute. Not everyone's going to be able to do it in the same way.
That's mad. Wait, was that everywhere in America? Or
no, that was just one specific area, and this one man who was on the news and everything.
Was there riots in the area why they started doing that? Or?
Why the police started doing that? It's been crazy. I don't know if there was a riot on that specific day, but it was crazy footage.
I've tried to stay away from the news because, like you said before, when you're fed too much stuff, it's draining. And like I'm trying to actually make change, so sometimes I feel like some people might ignore it because I feel like seeing that it drains you to a point where you don't even want to do anything. So sometimes the best way for you to have change is just actively do what you need to do to make people's lives better. So I understand why some people might not want to pay attention to certain things, but you got to be aware of it at least.
And I do think the way that a lot of these brands, it's sad that this mess and this noise has caused certain brands to say, actually, by the way, we haven't hired that many black people, so we've decided now that we're going to open up the floor and decide. It's like, really? People had to go and flip the world upside down for you to hire a couple more people.
They're only doing that because they know that they're going to be held accountable for, and it might affect their company.
I appreciate that. So that to me, that's one way to contribute. So
I also feel like people shouldn't then go, you should have been doing this before. At least know now they're aware of this and they're making a change, and we just need to capitalise off it whilst it's a buzz, like it's a thing in it, because.
And moving forward, people in positions of power, if you work in HR, if you're a head teacher at a school, like if you're any position of power, if you see subtle things going on, like little microaggressions at work, stuff like that. Pull people up on it. Don't let people just go through things alone at work. And when you know you can make a difference, don't be lazy, but it's not being lazy. It's just some people are scared. They don't want to be the one to say. But look, we're not living in the times anymore where you don't say. Now's the time to say. If you've not been that person before in the past, check yourself. See why you haven't been. I know why I wouldn't if I was ever in a position, because I'll be shook, like you said. I don't know how people are going to treat me after, blah blah blah. But that's what comes with responsibility. With power comes responsibility, and it's your responsibility as a human being to take care of your fellow human beings, especially in a place of work. Otherwise, bye, find someone else to work for you. Right. So, any advice for non-black people?
In what sense?
In the sense that a lot of people are learning what's happening to black people. So the George Floyd thing has kicked off a lot of things. And there's a lot of non-black people who are probably thinking, where do I stand in all of this?
I think it's just about showing you understand. Yeah, I think it's more about showing you understand than just not turning a blind eye to it. Just realise that some people are going through pain and they're upset, and just showing that you acknowledge it. Like, you can't, they haven't done the crimes or the madness, so you can't be angry at everyone. They are some really nice people, and they just need to know that if they see they can make a change in a certain person's life, and it's not going to cost them no money or do anything, then that's helping as well.
I've seen a lot of non-black. When I say non-black, I'm talking about Chinese, Asian, white, everybody who's not black. Obviously there's lots of struggles that happen all over the world to all different kinds of people. This is the one that's being highlighted now.
I also feel like a lot of non-blacks need to not be scared of blacks, because I feel like as a black man I'm made to feel sometimes like I'm scary or something, and I feel just act like we're human and we'll act human. If you act like you're scared, some people act on it because they're feeling like, am I a monster or something? And it's like, you just need to if you act normal around someone, they're going to act normal around you. If you're going to act scared, they're going to think, why is this person scared? I ain't even done nothing to you and you're already scared.
And also, I've noticed that some white people I know and non-black people I know have maybe felt like they can't approach me or can't speak to me. And my response to that is, we've been friends with all different kinds of people. Like, black people have been friends with all different kinds of people all this time. We are not the ones just clocking what's going on, or just feeling the pain where we feel like, no, I've got to be against it. So if you've got friends who are black, they're still gonna be your friends. And if they're not, I haven't heard of anyone moving like this. I'm not gonna speak to you now because it was no. I don't know anyone who does that. No. That's petty, to be honest with you. But if you're choosing to be friends with people from all different kinds of races, which people do, just open communication, innit? I think it's weird if you're just gonna, if we're together whilst this is happening and you talk about cupcakes and plants and trees and your hair looks nice and
but do you feel like they should start the conversation, or do they feel like if you bring it up then they can talk about it? If it comes, because it's coming up, we always talk about the latest things. Have you brought it up though? Like, I think I have. With one person in particular, I was speaking to them and I didn't bring it up like, did you say what happened? I was like, boy, it's a madness right now, what's going on? And they were just like, hopefully we can meet up and go out. And they kind of avoided it, and I understand totally why. They're not really trying to get into that conversation, but still, like, it's nice to know they got your support.
Yeah, that's what I would appreciate from non-black people. Just be normal, innit? Be cool. I'm not gonna all of a sudden not be your friend. So that just be cool, and thank you to everyone who is showing their solidarity. I've seen so much support. So
to go back to what you said, so see, like, when you said that, and then how do you reckon, once you said that, what would you reckon would be the best way for them to respond from you saying what you said?
I think, remember, I'm talking about people who are your actual friends. Hopefully, if these are your friends, you talk normally on the level, right? So it shouldn't be like any other conversation.
So you shouldn't avoid it.
If you do end up having a conversation and they say some shit like that all lives matter, that's a different conversation, If any of my friends said all lives matter, I would try to explain to them, do you understand that right now the reason why people are saying Black Lives Matter is because that's what we're dealing with? And of course, I would try and talk to them. If they were resistant, then to me, I am a very, I don't do in between.
So
I'm either on it or I'm not. if someone shows me that they're not trying to show me support whilst I'm trying to explain something to them, then me and you have an issue now.
Yeah.
We do, because you're not going to understand. We clearly have never been on the same page.
Because do you feel like some people don't understand that saying all lives matter, we already know that all lives matter.
Yeah.
But it's not shown that Black Lives Matter when police are killing people, and I think that's what some people don't realise. Like, even I saw one drunk man the other day. He come up to, like, there's some protesters walking near where my friend lives, and he went up to them and said, "Oh, my life matters too." And it's like, he was drunk as well, so I didn't really take it on. But it's like, we know that your life matters already, innit?
Now's not the time.
Yeah.
Now is just not the time.
Yeah. But I feel like that people who say all life matters sometimes as well, they may have other issues that they're going through, and they feel like it's being shrugged under the rug because the Black Lives Matter thing's going on, and they've still got other issues. So,
but it's like it's your birthday today. Happy birthday, and then someone comes, "It was my birthday last week."
Yeah,
it's like, all right, it's cool. Just calm down. Your birthday's gonna come again.
Yeah.
Just like issues amongst other people always come up. Like, things come up. We all support each other when things come up. But the difference is when it comes to black people. When black people say, like, I've seen this meme going around. When black people say, "Stop killing us," and you say, "Yeah, but that's already."
Yeah, that's a mad thing.
That's a no. Right, and this is the one that I've been really wanting to talk about, because I'm really curious about couples in interracial relationships. And I know that there's some people, not everyone, usually when you're in a relationship with someone, you get to know them enough to know them, innit? You're cool with each other. Yeah. But I know that there are some people who have asked each other questions and issues have come up, and now we don't know what's going on. So what would you say to any couples who are going through hard times? Not just now, just in general. You're one's black, one's white, or one's black and one's Chinese or whatever, and racial issues concerning black people come up. What advice would you give
to the couple? As long as the person who's not black is showing understanding, and they realise that, like, if they do plan to have kids when they're older, their kids might get treated like this, so you've got to be very mindful that this is going on, and you have to speak up, because it could be your kids being treated this way later on. It might not affect, like, your family at the moment, but if you're planning to stay with this person, you need to keep this on board, that your kids are going to go through this.
I think that's very good advice, and we've seen so many people ignore so many red flags in relationships to maintain them. Yeah. I just think this one is not really. I don't think any red flag really, like proper ones that people clock, should ever be ignored. So I don't think anyone should pursue untrue relationships. But if something like this is coming up, definitely
what would you
talk
say
about
red flags?
Red flag, like you say to your partner, like for example, your non-black partner says, "Yeah, but all lives matter." That's a fucking red flag. Or for example, they might not be racist, but their family really, really is. Like, they love you, and you know that.
So how do you feel they should deal with that then?
I think
because they're not in a relationship with their family, so you can't help who you love.
I think when in situations like that, it's not a one-off thing. It's going to be an ongoing. That's the life that you guys are going to live in it. So you're going to have to just pick and choose. If you know that you're going to your family's Pakistani, I'm just using an example, your family's Pakistani and this family's Jamaican, and they can't stand the Jamaicans, and then Pakistanis are having a wedding. Don't bring your Jamaican crew to the wedding. Things like that. Pick and choose your battles, stuff like that. Because you've decided you're going to be together, you're not going to stop being together. So you just have to pick and choose. But if someone is blatantly showing you in the relationship that they don't care about you as a black person, then they can't care about you at all. It's not even about black. It's just they don't care about you.
Yeah, you could just be like a trophy. Just because black people or some sort of black, like with black men, they could be seen as trophy to certain people because it's deemed as what's in at the moment. Yeah.
So honest communication, really. Talk it out, and don't be afraid to make changes if you feel like this person's not really on my side, because they might not be on your side, but they could learn to be. If you love each other and you want to stay with each other, you can educate them, and then you can move forward. But just don't be afraid. If you're scared to have the conversation, then
you need to end it.
Yeah, all that's going to happen is you're going to both live a lie until your kids come and start getting bullied for being black, because that's what will happen. They don't get bullied for being mixed race, they get bullied for being black. Then you're going to have to deal with it then. So just deal with it now.
I heard that.
That's that. It's been a crazy bloody year, but I think this is necessary.
Yeah, I feel like there's going to be a lot of change for the good. I feel there's going to be some stuff that's going to be a bit mad, but I feel like in this time I'm seeing a lot of unity in people, which is good. Yeah, I'm excited for the future.
I'm excited too. I'm excited to see change, and these are, I guess, growing pains. So embrace the pain, guys. You're going to feel it until we reach the other side.